Shalom Aleichem to all the Bachrim. Today is Chaf Zayin Nisan. Today is the 12th day of the Omer. Hence, we're going to learn Sotah Daf Yud Beis. We left off yesterday, Yud Aleph Amud Beis, 3 lines from the bottom of the Amud, the second one of the line, V'Kolev. Okay. So we started yesterday the Sugya of Miriam and the Shibud Mitzrayim. We learned a lot about the Shibud Mitzrayim. Today we're going to focus a lot on Miriam, the story with Moshe and the water. That's going to be the main focus of today's daf. And let's go. So first, we're going to start with Darshaning Psukim in Divrei Hayamim. So Divrei Hayamim is the last book in Tanakh, the book of Chronicles, and it starts, the first 9 prakim of Divrei Hayamim are genealogies, lists of names and their fathers, v'chulu v'chulu. So the family trees in Divrei Hayamim are very confusing because they're a lot of times they contradict a lot of other places in Tanakh. Also, they're very hard to understand what's going on exactly, as we're going to see some examples today. So the Chachamim use the Psukim in Divrei Hayamim as drashos. They learn different things out of all the names, and all the names have meanings on the person's character and different things that the person did. So today we're going to learn the Psukim about Miriam. We started yesterday, actually. We quoted the pasuk, which we're gonna get back to. But first, let's start with the pasuk over here. Divrei Hayamim Aleph Perek Beis. Goes like this: the Kalev ben Chetzrein, Kalev the son of Chetzrein, Hoylid Azuva, he bore Azuva, Isha, she was a woman. The Es Yirios, he also bore Yirios. Be'ela Bana, and these are the sons of either Azuva or Yirios, Yashar or Yeshar, I think. Veshoivav ve'Ardan. That's the pasuk. Then the next pasuk goes back to a pasuk that we learned yesterday. A few lines up, 2 lines up. V'Thomas Azuva, that Azuva died. Eshes Kalev, the wife of Kalev. Which, first of all, we just said that Kalev gave birth to Azuva. So how is Azuva his wife? Vayigach Kalev is Ephras. So Kalev married Ephras. Vateled le'Eskor, and she gave birth to 4. So now let's start with the pasuk that we quoted. The Kalev, the son of Chetzrein. So first of all, Kalev wasn't the son of Chetzrein. Kalev was the son of Yefuna. We have him elsewhere in the Torah. So Ben Chetzrein asks the Gemara the second line from the bottom. Ben Yefuna, who he's the son of Yefuna. So says the Gemara that really his father's name was Chetzrein, and he's Ben Shapana Me'atzas Meraglim. He's the son. The Yefuna means that he's the son that turned away Shapana Me'atzas Meraglim from the council of the spies. In the story of the spies in Parsha Shlach, Moshe chose a spy from every shevet, and the one from Shevet Yehuda was Kalev. And all the spies came back with a bad report, with the exception of 2, Kalev and Yehoshua. So Kalev was the tzaddik that didn't go together with the rest of the spies, so he turned away from the council of the spies. Okay, but then says the Gemara of Akati ben Knazu, but we know that Kalev was really the son of Knaz. The Chsiv, it says in the pasuk in Shoftim that Vayilkida Sneil ben Knaz, that was Sneil, the son of Knaz, captured a city. I think it's talking about Hebron or Kiryat Sefer. No, it's talking about Kiryat Sefer. That he captured the city. And he is the son of Knaz, Osniel, and Achi Kalev. Osniel is the brother of Kalev. So he's just like Kalev, if he's Osniel's brother, that means that their father is Knaz. So Amar Rava says, not a shayla. Knaz is not really Kalev's father, it's Chorgoy the Knaz Hava. Kalev was Knaz's stepson, which means that Kalev and Osniel were brothers, but only half brothers. They were brothers from their mother. They had 2 different fathers. Osniel's father was Knaz. Kalev's father was Chetzrein or Yefuna. Okay, and Dekanami Dechsiv. And also we can the pasuk specifies it's specific to that if you specify in the pasuk you'll find out that he's not really the son of Knaz. It calls Kalev the Knizi, which means that he wasn't Ben Knaz, but he came from the family of Knaz. Shmami no. Good. So then Azuva Zay Miriam, Azuva that we spoke about before, that Kalev ben Chetzrein Hilid this Azuva, that's talking about Miriam. Azuva, the real name was Miriam. So why was she called Azuva? So now we're going to learn that Miriam originally was very sick. And since she was sick, no one wanted to marry her. And then Kalev married her, the Shem Shamayim, and with Kalev's help, she got back to her proper health, and she became very beautiful. So we're going to see right. So she was originally nicknamed Azuva, Shakol Azavua Mitchilasa, because originally everyone left her, everyone abandoned her, no one wanted to marry her. But then the pasuk says that Kalev is Hoylid as Azuva, that he gave birth to Azuva, he bore Azuva. He was married to her. Why is it saying that he bore her? So Rabbi Yochanan says, Rabbi Yochanan, say Isha l'shem shamayim, anyone that marries a woman just l'shem shamayim, right? And for a higher cause, the Torah considers it as if he bore her. It's this honor that he gets that he's considered as if he bore Urios. Then it says that the S Urios that Kalev bore Urios also, but like we said before, that all the descriptions of the pasuk, all the different names are all descriptions of Miriam. So she was Urios. Why? Urios means curtains. Her face looked like Urios, like curtains, because when she was sick, she was very pale. She had a greenish complexion, like curtains that don't have any color. And these are her children. Don't read it bana her children. Read it bana those that built her up. So now the next three names in the pasuk are referring to Kalev now. That Kalev helped Miriam. So these three names are praise of Kalev. So first of all, Yesher, which means straight. Sheyisher esatzma, that he straightened out himself. That he made sure that he didn't go with the path of the Meraglim. He went on a straight path. Shoivav means sort of rebellious, or it means to make trouble. That he was rebellious against his Yetzirah. The Ardoin, which means it has the lashon of to rule. That he ruled over his Yetzirah, that he didn't go with the Meraglim, that he stayed strong and was loyal to Moshe Rabbeinu. And there are those that say that why is he called Ardoin? It's referring to what Miriam looked like after she became healthy, that her face looked like a flower. Good. Then there's another pasuk in Devarim later in Perek Daled. Also, we're going to darshan it about Kalev and Miriam. Ashur avi Tekoya, Ashur, the father of Tekoya, had two wives, Chela and Nara. Wife number one was Chela, the second wife was Nara. So Ashur is that Kalev. Ashur, first of all, is referring to Kalev. Ashur. So why was he called Ashur? Why was he nicknamed Ashur? Ashur means black. That his face became black from fasting. That he fasted so much in order to be zeicha, not to fall into the trap of the Meraglim. Avi, the father of Shanasa Lakav, that he became like a father to Miriam. Tekoya Shataka Asliba Taka is like right. I think it says by Yoel that she was Tekeya, the peg into Sisera's head. That it means like to wedge or to fasten. He fastened his heart to the Ibishter, to his father in heaven. And he had two wives. So Nasa Miriam Kishtei Nashim. Miriam was like two wives. Why? Number one, Chela v'Nara, and number two, Nara. Loi Chela v'Nara Havoi. She wasn't both Chela and Nara at the same time. Ella b'tchila Chela. In the beginning, she was Chela, which means sickly. L'basayf Nara, and at the end, she was Nara, like a young girl, that she became beautiful. Uvnei Chela, the sons of Chela, the next pasuk says, Soras v'tzoyar v'esnan, three sons, Soras, Tzoyar, and Esnan. Soras, she was called Soras, Shanase Sora l'chavreisel, that she became competition. Sora means competition. Competition to her fellows, that she became so beautiful that everyone was jealous of her. V'tzoyar, Tzoyar shayu panel doimin kitzarayim. Tzoyar comes from the word tzarayim, which means the afternoon. Her face looked like the sun in the afternoon. The sun in the afternoon is very bright, and her face, she had a shine on her face. Esnan, Esnan is a word for gifts that people would pay to prostitutes in order to be with them. So that's the Esnan. We have a pasuk in the Torah in Kisete that says that you're not allowed to bring an Esnan Zayna to the Beis Hamikdash as a korban. So because of her, the men would look at her and they would be so aroused that they would give gifts to their wives to be with their wives, because they had to consummate their arousal. Good. Now back to the story of Shibud Mitzrayim. Pari commanded his entire nation, and he said, any boy that's born, throw him into the Nile, and all the girls could live. So Rabbi Yosi, the son of Rabbi Chanina, said that Afal Amay Gozar. It says that Pari commanded his entire nation. Why does he have to command the entire nation? Command the officers that they should throw the Jewish babies into the. So says Rabbi Yosi, the son of Rabbi Chanina, that the Gzeira even went on his own nation. And if you look in Rashi, right next to the Gemara, Mamash, on the right side, the Medrash Tanhuma says that Yom Shenolad Moshe Amru Tzagninov, the day that Moshe was born, the stargazers told Parai, today the savior of the Jewish nation is being born. We don't know if he's going to be Egyptian or if he's going to be Jewish. So so he gathered the entire nation. He told them, give me all your babies today. That day, and he threw the babies into the Nile, even the Egyptian babies, because they didn't know this might be the Jewish savior. And so the Gzeira even went in his own nation. So Rabbi Yosi Brab Chanina says like this: Shalish Gzeiris Gazar. Parai had three decrees. Bitchila, the first decree was in Ben Huva Mitanoisai, that if that he told the midwives that if you see a Jewish boy being born, kill him. Then he decreed that throw all the Jewish babies into the Nile. And even later, the day that Moshe was born, he made the Gzera even on his own nation. So that's the story, the beginning, the Perek Aleph of Shmois. We just darshan the whole thing yesterday and a little bit today. Now we move on to Perek Beis, the story of Moshe's birth. The Torah says like this: Vayelech ish mi beis Levi, a man from the house of Levi went, and he married the daughter of Levi. So first of all, the Heichon Halach. It's trying to say that the guy married the girl, which we're going to find out who they were in a second. So why does it say that he went? Where is he going? So Amar Yehuda bar Zvina, Yehuda the son of Zvina said that Shahalach Batzas Bito, he went together with the counsel of his daughter. Tana, so the Brisa teaches that Amram Gadol Adar, that this pasuk first of all is talking about Amram, the man from Beis Levi, the man from the family of Levi. He was the Gadol Adar, he was the greatest of his generation. All the Jewish nation would listen to him, whatever he said. So once he saw that Paray, the wicked, said that all the baby boys have to be thrown into the Nile, so Amar, he said, all of our toil, all of the work that goes into having children is all for nothing because they're going to be killed in the end once they're born. So Amad so he got up and he divorced his wife. And because he, the Gadol Adar, divorced his wife, so and all the Jewish nation, they all divorced their wives. So Amr Bito, his daughter, tells him, who's his daughter? His daughter is Miriam. She says to Amram, Abba, father, your Gzera of divorcing the wives is even worse than Paray's Gzera. Why? First of all, Paray's decree was only on the boys. And since you're saying that everyone has to, he didn't tell them, but he divorced his wife, and since the entire Jewish nation is divorcing their wives, so your Gzera means that there's going to be no boys and no girls. Pare said that we're killing the babies in this world. You are killing them in this world and the next world, because if they're never born, then they can't get to the next world. Even if they die, they have a chilik le'lamaba. Pare Russia, Suffolk Miskayim Gizera, Suffolk Enem Miskayim. Pare, who's a Russia, he's wicked. So maybe his decree will be fulfilled. Maybe his decree won't be fulfilled. Maybe it'll be nullified. However, Atat Tzaddik, you're a Tzaddik. So Miskayemis, for sure, your decree will be fulfilled and it will continue forever. Never, like it says in the pasuk in Eov, Batigzar Omer, Vayokom Loch. It's a pasuk that Eov's friend is telling him that if you're going to be a Tzaddik, whatever you decree is going to be fulfilled. So he says that. So Miriam tells her father that since you're a Tzaddik, whatever you say is going to go. So Amad he listens to his daughter. He stands up and he returns. He remarries his wife. So so all the Jewish nation, they followed the Gadol Adar. They all remarried their wives also. So now back to the pasuk. It says so. Vayelech ish mi beis Levi, the man from Beis Levi went, and he went with the counsel of his daughter. Vayikach as bas Levi, and he took daughter of Levi. He married the daughter of Levi. So Vayikach, he married. It should say Vayachzor, that he remarried according to what we just said. So I'm Rabbi the son of Zvina said that he made it as if it was the first marriage. He made a whole shebang out of it. And first of all, he put her in the bridal chariot that they would have. There was a minute that they would make a fancy chariot or a fancy chair, and they would lead the kala in it. So he had this whole fancy thing, the apirion. I think we're going to learn more about the apirion all the way at the end of the Masechta. The Aaron and Miriam, the two sons, the two children were dancing in front of her, in front of the kala. Malachi Asharis Amru, and at that moment, the angel said. The administering angels, they said, the pasuk in Tehillim in Halal, the mother of the children is happy, and the beginning of the pasuk is Moishivi Akeres Abayis, that he returns. Akeres Abayis is the wife who was uprooted, so he returned his divorced wife, and now the mother is happy because they're getting remarried. Then it says as Bas Levi that he married the daughter of Levi. Yecheved was Levi's daughter. So Efsher Bas Meo Shleshim Shana Havia V'Kari Bas. Yecheved was 130 years old, as we're going to see in a moment. And it's calling her Bas, the daughter of Levi, a daughter you use for someone who's young. So first of all, how do we know that she was 130? Rab Chanina said that in the Torah, when the Yidden are coming down to Mitzrayim, it says that there were 70 people, 70 nefashos. However, if you count all the names, there was only 69. So who's the 70th? So says Rab Chanina on that Zu Yecheved. This 70th is Yecheved, Sheirasa Baderach, that she was conceived on the way to Mitzrayim, but she was born between the gates, between the walls of Mitzrayim, as they were entering Mitzrayim, as Yaakov's family was entering Mitzrayim. In Parshas Vayigash, That's when she was born. Shnemar, it says in the pasuk in Parshas Pinchas, Asher Yolda Oisel the Levi b'Mitzrayim, that Yocheved was born to Levi in Mitzrayim. Only she was born in Mitzrayim. Leidasa b'Mitzrayim. Her birth was in Mitzrayim. Ve'nei b'Mitzrayim, but her conception happened outside of Mitzrayim. So therefore, from the beginning of them coming to Mitzrayim until now, the Shibud of Mitzrayim was 130 years, and therefore, how could it be that it calls her Bas Levi? So Rabbi Yehuda says, Rabbi Yehuda Sheneldu Bas Simone Naros, that she had the signs of a youngster again, that her body got back youth again, that she didn't look like a 130-year-old woman. The pasuk continues, Perek Beis of Shmois, that the woman conceived and she had a son. As we're going to say in a second, that she was already pregnant for 3 months, before they even got married. She already was pregnant with Moshe 3 months before they got remarried, before they got divorced. So why does it say that after they married, she conceived and she had a son? He was conceived already before the marriage. So Rabbi Yehuda Bar Zvina said that Makish Leidosa later also wants to place the conception and the birth in the same pasuk. Why? To teach you that just like Moshe was conceived without any pain, so too she gave birth to Moshe without any pain. From here we learn the Nashim Tzidkonios to righteous women that they were not included in the decree on Chava, that the Torah in Parshas Bereishis says that after Chava ate from the Tzadas, she got cursed. She got some of the curses over there, and one of the curses was that it's going to be hard for her to give birth. However, Tzidkonios were not part of that decree, and therefore Yocheved had a very easy birth with Moshe Rabbeinu. Then the Torah says, so she gives birth to this kid, and she saw that he was good. So Tanya, Abraisa taught Reb Meir says Toiv Shmoi, his name was Toiv. Rabbi Yehuda Eimer Toiviyah Shmoi. Rabbi Yehuda says his name was Toiviyah. Moshe's name originally. The name Moshe came from Basiel, but originally his name was Toiv or Toiviyah. Rabbi Nechemia says that why does it say that he was Toiv, that the baby was Toiv? Because he's Hogel the Nevios, that he was right, he was befitting for prophecy. Acher Maimrim, others say, which is actually Shaila, because usually when it says Acher Maimrim, it's referring to Reb Meir. Reb Meir said before that Toiv is his name. Here we have Acher Maimrim. Noilad Kishulmol, that he was born circumcised already. We already had this about David previously in Daf Yud. Yeah, from Mishtam, he was born with already circumcised. So too Moshe Rabbeinu was born circumcised, according to Acherim. The Chachamim say, why did it say that she saw that the baby was good? The moment that Moshe was born, the entire house was filled with light. How do we know this from Exer Shava? But here in Parsha Shmos it says that she saw that he was good. It says in Bereishis, Parshas Bereishis, that the Eibishter saw the light, that the light was good. So just like light's good, so when it says that she saw that Moshe was good, it means that it was filled with light. Then the pasuk says that she hid Moshe for 3 months. Why did she have to hide him for 3 months and not more than that? She was hiding him from the Egyptians. Like we said before, that she was pregnant already 3 months before the remarriage. So after they were married, she was pregnant still for 6 more months, so 9 months altogether. And then at the end of the 9 months is when Moshe was born. And however, the Egyptians only were suspicious of them having a baby 9 months after they got remarried, because they didn't know that she had already conceived in the first marriage. So at 6 months after, so 9 months after they got remarried, that's when the Egyptians started looking for him. And that's 3 months after Moshe was born. So she hid him for 3 months. And then the Torah says, she wasn't able to hide him anymore. Says the Gemara, why couldn't she hide him anymore? She could continue hiding him, put him in the closet. So Ella says the Gemara, whenever the Egyptians would hear that a Jewish baby was born, how would they catch the baby? They would bring an Egyptian baby to the house, in order that the Jewish baby, would be able to hear the Egyptian baby crying, and then they would cry together, and they would hear the Jewish baby crying, and they would steal the Jewish baby and throw him into the Nile. Siv, like it says in the pasuk in Shir Hashirim, this is the meaning of the pasuk. They grabbed for us foxes, young foxes, foxen, that they took young little foxes, the young Egyptians, in order to steal the Jewish babies. So she wasn't able to hide Moshe anymore. The pasuk says, she brought for him a wicker basket. So my shnug, why was it dafka wicker? Wicker is a very cheap material. She could have brought a wood basket, a more expensive basket. Rabbi Lazar says, Rabbi Lazar, Mikan, from here we learn about tzaddikim that their money is more precious to them than their bodies. The tzaddikim are ready to go through some physical discomfort in order not to waste money. The kol kach lama, and why? How come they value their money so much? Because they'll never get their hands mixed up with anything that's stolen, anything that has a hashash, anything that's even minutely can be translated as stealing. So therefore, all the money they have is very hard earned, and they're very careful not to waste it. Shmuel bar Nachmani said that that why did you take dafka a soft basket out of wicker? Something that's soft won't break, not from something soft and not from hitting something hard. However, if you take something that's hard, a hard basket is able to break from when it hits another hard thing. She quoted this basket in Shemar is clay and Zofes is tar. So Tana, the Bryce taught that. The clay was in the inside, but the tar was on the outside. Why? Since tar is a bad smell, she didn't want that tzaddik to smell a bad smell. So therefore, the bad smell was on the outside. Then the Torah says she put the baby inside. She put the lad inside the basket. And she put the basket in the reeds, in the silk. Rabbi Lezer says that where did she put him? Yamsuf. She put him in the actual Sea of Reeds, the Red Sea. That's what it means by Tazim Basuf. Shmuel bar Nachmani Omar. Shmuel bar Nachmani says, no, it wasn't the Yamsuf, it was Agam, it was a swamp. Like it says in the Pasuk in Yeshaya, Perek Yotes, which actually this Perek of Yeshaya is actually, coincidentally, is a nevuah about the destruction of Mitzrayim in the future. It says over there, Kana Vasuf Kamelu. The kana is the reeds and the reeds and the little sticks that grow in water. Kamelu, they withered away. So Kitzer, since the kana is in the agam and it says Vatasa Vasuf, kana Vasuf is next to each other to tell you that you put them in the agam. The Torah says that the daughter of Parai went down to bathe in the Yaor in the Nile. So Rabbi Yechanan says Rabbi Yechanan Mishum Reb Shimon ben Yochai in the name of Reb Shimon bar Yochai. Melamed, it teaches us she went to wash herself away from her father's idols, from her father's gilulim, from her father's statues, his avodah zarah. That's what it says in the pasuk in Yeshaya. Imrochatz Hashem es tzoyas b'nai Tzion v'gomer. About getting rid of avodah zarah, it says that the Eibishter wipes off the excrement of the daughters of Tzion. So too, she was going to wash herself away from avodah zarah. Then the Torah says that her maids were going together with her, the young girls that helped the daughter of Parai were going together with her next to the Yair. So Rabbi Yechanan says that when it says in her maidens were going, this going is referring to death, that they were going to die in a second. That's what it says in the pasuk in Parshas Toldos. In the story of Yaakov getting the Bechira from Esav, he said, give me your Bechira. So Esav said, I'm going to die. So going could be a connotation of death. Then it says that Parai's daughter, she saw the Teva, this box amongst the reeds. So Kevan the Chazu the Kabo, the Moshe. So now we're going to explain why were the maidens of Basia of Parai's daughter about to die? They saw that she wanted to save this baby. So Amrullah, they said to her, give your Tenu, our mistress. The way of the world is that Melech Basar Radam, when you have a human king, so Gezer Gzera, he makes a decree. Even if the entire world isn't listening to his decree, at least his children and his household, at least his family, at least they listen to the decree. And you are about to go against your father's decree. You said that all the Jewish boys have to die, and you're going to save this little boy. So what happened? Gabriel, the angel came, and he smashed them into the ground. They all died over there. Look, in order that they shouldn't be a hindrance to her saving Moshe Rabbeinu. Then says the Torah, she sees the baby, she sends out her Amma and she takes it. So Rabbi Yehuda when it says she sent her Amma. So one says that it means her hand. And one says that it means her maidservant. She sent one of her slaves. Mandamar Yoda, the one who says that it was her hand, because the Torah says Amasa, and Amasa means a hand, and Amma is halachically from the elbow all the way to the top of the middle finger. So the Amma means that she sent her hand out and took the baby. Where are we? The one who says that it was her maidservant, so midaleksiv yada, it's because it doesn't say yada that she sent out her hand. They use the word amma, which is a weird word for hand, so we touch amma as her maidservant. According to the one that says that she sent her maidservant to Amrat Gabriel. We just said that Gabriel came and killed all the maidservants. So says the Gemara, the Shire Lachada, he left one of the maidservants together with her, the Lavar the Vasmalka, the Mekam the Chuda. It's not the way of a princess to go by herself. So he left her one maidservant, and she's the one that she sent in order to get the basket. According to the one that says that it was her hand. So Lichlev Yoda, why doesn't the Torah just say the word Yoda? So Hakamash Malan, it's coming to teach you the Shtarbe, Vishtar Buve, that her hand extended, it got bigger. Damar Mar, that's what the master says. But the same thing we find by Paro's daughter's hand, and the same thing we find by the teeth of the wicked. If it says in the pasuk in Tehillim Parag Gimel, Shibarta, that you have broken the teeth of the wicked. Amar Reish Lakish says Reish Lakish, don't read the word that you broke the teeth of the wicked. Ela Sharibavta, that you extended their teeth. It says the Torah that she opens up the basket and she sees the child. She saw him, the child. So the Torah should have said, they should have just said, and she saw the child. Why does it say, and she saw him, the child? So Rabbi Yossi Reb Chanina says, Rabbi Yossi Reb Chanina, she saw the Shekhinah together with Moshe Rabbeinu. Then says the Torah, and behold, she sees that it was a baby crying. And anar means a young boy, a young lad. So first of all, Kari the Yeled. First, the Torah calls it a Yeled, where it says, she says, Miyal Dehiv from Zeh. It says that she opens up, she sees a Yeled, which means a boy child, a male child. Being a Nar, and she sees a young lad. So Yeled and Nar. Says the Gemara. Kari the Yeled, the Kari the Nar. Calls him a Yeled and it calls him a Nar. Tana, who Yeled? The Brisa teaches that he was a Yeled, he was a little baby, but his voice already sounded like an older kid. Rabbi Yehuda, that's Rabbi Yehuda's opinion. Rabbi Nechemia says to Rabbi Yehuda, Im Kain, Sisu Moshe Rabbeinu Baal Mum. You're making Moshe Rabbeinu into a Baal Mum if you say that his voice was very deep like a little boy. So what does it teach you? That his mother made for him a little chuppah in his basket, chuppah and urim, chuppah of the young lads of young men that get married. The teva inside the box. Amra, because she said, maybe I'll never be able to merit to go to his chuppah because maybe the kid is going to die over here. So she made a chuppah over here to symbolically be by his chuppah. Says the Torah that she, the daughter of Parai, had compassion on him. And she said, this is from the Jewish children. So how did she know that it was a Jewish baby? So the son of Rav Chanina says, she saw that he was circumcised. And she knew that he's Jewish. What's this zeh, this extra zeh, that this is from the Jewish children? Rabbi Yechanan says, it teaches us that she had a prophecy without even knowing that it was a prophecy. That she was saying, Zed, this baby Neufel is falling into the river. And after Neufel, and no other babies will be thrown into the Nile after this one. This is what Rabbi Lazar said. What does it mean? The pasuk say. What is the pasuk? What's the meaning of the pasuk that says in Yeshaya Perikhes? And when they say to you, go seek after the oivos, are these magic makers, and the Yidonim, also different sort of magic. Oiven Yidoni, we talk about it in Sanhedrin. I'm trying to remember. One of them is you put a bone of a bird under your armpit, or in your mouth, and the words come out of the armpit space. I don't even remember. But it's these weird kinds of magic that the Torah forbids. And he's saying, you guys are going to go, that they chirp and they speak. Mitzafzifim means that they see, but they don't know what they're seeing. They just see things. Meaning these magic makers, they see real things, but they don't know what it's talking about. Magim means that they're chirping like birds. And they don't know what they're talking about. So what happened? So that's what it means about Basya, that she had this nevuah and she didn't know what it was. But she said she didn't know that she was being manabe, but she really was. And she said that there's going to be no other babies thrown into the Nile. After this row, she saw the stargazer saw Shem. They saw originally that the savior of the Jewish nation is going to be punished with water. So Amdu, so they right away they stood up with Paro's permission, the Gazru, and they decreed that all the Jewish babies have to be thrown into the Nile. Once Moshe was already thrown into the Nile, Amru, they said, we don't see it anymore that Moshe is thrown into the, we don't see anymore that that this Jewish leader is going to be hit with the water. This is what Reb Chama Bar Chanina says. What's the meaning of the pasuk in Parshas Chukas? About the when Moshe hit the rock, it says Hema me Meriva, and the water came out, and Hashem had told him to speak to it. So Hema and Hashem said because of that they can't go into Israel. Hema me Meriva, these are the waters of quarreling, Asharavu, which the Yidden quarreled with the Eibushter by. So Hema, so what the Torah says that these are the waters of quarrel. So what does it mean? These are the waters of quarrel. That's he hit the rock, water came out, and he got punished for it. These are the we already know what these waters were, that these are those waters that you already know from before. So says the Gemara, these are the waters, these are the waters that the Paris stargazers saw Vito, and they made a mistake. They thought that Moshe was going to be hit with water, so we got to throw him into the Nile. But they didn't realize that when Moshe is being punished through water, it means the water that came out of the rock when he hit the rock. And because of that, they saw that Moshe is in the water, that the Jewish leaders in the water. So they said, we don't have to kill the Jewish babies anymore. The leader was already killed. The leader has already been placed in the water. This is what Moshe said. There's a pasuk in Parshas Ba'aleischa where Moshe says that the 600,000 troops, 600,000 foot soldiers are this nation which I am Bekirbai in their midst. And Moshe was saying that because of me, they are here. They're all here b'schus me. So Moshe was telling the Yidden, because of me, you guys were all saved. That since I was placed in the water, Kare stopped this decree of throwing the Jewish boys into the Nile. And and therefore all the Yidden that were there alive that day was all thanks to Moshe Rabbeinu being placed in the water. So going back, when we brought the pasuk in Yeshaya about how the goyim, they go to these magic makers and they say things and they don't know what they're saying. So it's referring to this, that they thought that Moshe was going to be punished in the water, so they threw him into the water. Kitzer. Says the Gemara, we are towards the bottom third of the Yamud, middle of the line. Reb Chanina bar Papa Amar, Reb Chanina, the son of Papa, says like this. That day that Moshe was in the water is Esrim ve'echad b'Nisan Haya. It was the 21st of Nisan. Okay. And Amr Malachi Hashem Kadosh Baruch Hu, Moshe is in the water on Chaf Aleph Nisan, and the administering angels say to the Eibishter, Rebbeinu the master of the world, Misha asid gleimar shira al hayam b'yom zeh yilka b'yom zeh. He who in the future will say shira, will sing the song to you on the ocean, is going to be punished on this day. You got to save him, and that's why Moshe was saved in that place. What was Chaf Aleph Nisan? Chaf Aleph Nisan was Shvi Shel Pesach. Shvi Shel Pesach is the day that the Eibishter split the ocean, split the Yamsuf, and the Yidden came out and they said Shira together with Moshe Rabbeinu. So because of the split of the Shiras Hayam that Moshe said on Chaf Aleph Nisan, that's why the Yidden were saved on. That's why Moshe Rabbeinu was saved in the water on that day on Chaf Aleph Nisan. Reb Acha bar Chanina Amar, Reb Acha, the son of Chanina, however, maybe it was Chanina bar Papa's son. Kitzer, he says, that day that Moshe was on the ocean was Shisha b'Sivan Haya. It was actually the 6th day of Sivan. What's the 6th day of Sivan? The 6th day of Sivan is Matan Torah. Shavuos, we're coming up very soon. So Amr Malachi Hashem Kadosh Baruch Hu, the administering angel said to the Eibishter, Rebbeinu the master of the world, Misha Asid l'kabel Torah me'ar Sinai b'yom zeh, the one who's in the future going to receive the Torah from Har Sinai on this day, Yilka b'yom zeh, on this day is the day that he should be punished. So good. So we have a machlekes whether Moshe was in the water on Vav Sivan, on Shavuos, or on Shvi Shel Pesach. So Bishlam l'mad Rabbi Sivan, the one who says that it was the 6th day of Sivan, it makes sense. Why? Mashkachasla Gimel Yarche, because then you have the 3 months that she was hiding, that she hid Moshe from after he was born. She hid him for 3 months, and after 3 months, she had to put him in the Nile. So we have 3 months. The Amar Mar, the master said that B'Shiva Badar or B'Shiva Badar Noilad Moshe, that Moshe died on the 7th day of Adar, and Moshe was also born on the 7th day of Adar. So if Moshe was born on Zayin Adar, and we Shiva Badar, but Shisha B'Sivan plus Yarche, Moshe was born on Zayin Adar. You have 3 months from Zayin Adar till Vav Sivan, exactly 3 months. Zayin Adar to Zayin Nisan, Zayin Nisan to Zayin Iyar, and then Zayin Iyar to Vav Sivan. That's 3 months. So that's Givaldik. It makes sense with the Psukim. But now back to the opinion that says that it was Chaf Aleph Nisan. How do you have 3 months? Nisan is the month right after Adar. That's only a month and a half. So says the Gemara, Oisa Shana Mil Beresoisa. That year must have been a leap year. And since it was a leap year, Moshe was born Zayin Adar Rishon, the first Adar. So you have from Zayin Adar Aleph to Zayin Adar Beis 1 month. Zayin Adar Beis to Zayin Nisan is 2 months. And then you have 2.5 months from Zayin Nisan till Chaf Aleph Nisan. And says the Gemara, the Malamed, sorry, says the Gemara, Rubai Shal Rishon, you had most of the first month. The Rubai Shal Achron, most of the last month. And so Yishalom in the middle month was complete. So you had close to 3 months. And when the Torah says 3 months, it's not being exactly 3 months to the day, but I mean 2.5 months, around 3 months. Then says the Torah, his sister Miriam came to the daughter of Parai, and she asked, should I go and call you a woman who can nurse Mino Ivrios from the Jewish women? So first of all, why was she saying Dafka the Jewish women? Why would Parai's daughter want Dafka a Jewish woman to come nurse Moshe? Malami that teaches us that Parai's daughter gave Moshe to all the Egyptian women kulam, the Layonak, and he wasn't nursing from any of them. Amar, because the Abishter said, Pesh Asid, the Dabar Mashkina Yinak Davar Tame, a mouth that's going to speak to the Shkina should be nursing something that's impure, because the woman's milk comes from the things that she eats, and the Egyptians were eating non-kosher food. So and since Moshe was going to speak to the Shekhinah, it's not proper they should be drinking something non-kosher. And this is the meaning of the pasuk in Yeshaya also. Yeshaya Perek Chavches. Over there, Yeshaya is rebuking the chevra that were making fun of the Nevi'im. They said that everything's going to be fine. We're not going to get punished, and we can live however we want. They were mockers. They were leitzim. And says the Navi Esmi Yeridei V'Gomer. He's lamenting. Who can I teach to? Me Yav and Shmuel. Who's going to listen to what I'm saying? Do I have to teach it to the kids that just stopped nursing? Right. So those that are attached to their mother's breasts. This is who I'm going to be able to teach the Torah to. That I'm going to be able to give the teaching. So he's basically lamenting that no one was listening to the words of the Nevi'im. But we're teaching this in a good way. The mi Yeridea, who is going to be taught Dea knowledge? Who is going to be taught from the Eibishter? Well, the mi Yav and Shmuel, and who is the Eibishter? Who's going to understand the things that the Eibishter is telling him? Like Mule Mecholav, the one that weaned from milk, the one that wasn't drinking the milk, that stopped drinking milk. Right. So it's talking about in Yeshaya the Pshat is babies that just stopped nursing. But over here we're talking about Moshe refused to drink from the Egyptian women, and those that were detached from the breasts. Good. So that's what Miriam tells Parai's daughter. Then the Torah says, Parai's daughter says, go. And the young girl went, etc. So Amar Rabbi Lazar says, that she went quickly, like an alma, like a young girl. That's why the Torah specifies that she was a young girl. We know that she was a young girl. So it says again to teach you that she ran quickly. Rav Shmuel Bar Nachmani says, alma, that it calls her an alma, a young girl. Alma also comes from the word she'elima esvarel, that she hid her words, that she was hiding something. What was she hiding? She was hiding the fact that she was bringing the baby's mother herself. She didn't tell Basia that because Basia wouldn't have agreed to that. So she hid that and she said, let me go get a Jewish woman who can nurse for you. So then Yocheved comes to Bas Parai, and Bas Parai tells her, Bas Parai, take this child and nurse him for me, and I'll pay you for it. Amar Rabbi Chama Rab Chanina says, she was prophesizing, and she didn't know that she was really prophesizing. Hey Lichi, she said, take. Hey Lichi is a compository of two words. Ha, this Shalichi is yours. And then the Torah says, she says to Yocheved that I will pay you for it. So Rab Chanina says, and not only do we return the lost objects to tzaddikim, it's not enough for the tzaddikim, we also pay them for losing their lost objects. Good. So that's the story of Miriam, Moshe, and the what's it called, Moshe in the basket, and the saving of Moshe with Basia and all these things. So now, just finishing up the sugya of Miriam, the Torah, where the Gemara jumps to the end of the story of Kriyas Yamsuf in Parshas Beshalach, where the Torah says like this: "Vatikach Miriam Hanavia achos Aaron v'gomer." So it says that the Yidden all sang to the Eibishter Az Yasher, and then after the Az Yasher, it says that Miriam, the Neviah, the prophetess, the sister of Aaron, took a tambourine and she got all the women to dance and to sing. So says the Gemara, the Torah calls her the sister of Aaron, but she was also Moshe's sister. So why is it using Dafka Aaron's sister? Rav Amram says Rav in the name of Rav. Rav. Some say Rav Nachman said in the name of Rav. Malamed teaches us that she was already prophesying when she was only Aaron's sister before Moshe was even born, turning to Yud Gimel Amud Aleph. But Meretz, and she would say, we referenced this earlier. She was saying that my mother is going to have a child who is going to save the Jewish nation. Then the Moshe, once Moshe was born, the entire house filled with light, like we said before. So Amad Avio Neshaka al Reisha. Father stood up and kissed her on the head. Amarla, he said, Biti, my daughter, your prophecy has been fulfilled. This baby was born, and he's going to save the Jewish nation. The whole house is light. Then once he was placed into the Nile, and they all gave up hope on him. So Amad Avio Tipsa al Reisha. Father came and touched her on the head. Amarla, he said to her, Biti, my daughter, where did your prophecy go? You said he's going to save the Jewish nation. Now he's languishing in the Nile River. And this is what the pasuk means. Givaldik, the pasuk that we spoke about yesterday. His sister stood from afar, Ledea, in order to know what is going to happen to him. Leda, she wanted to know what's going to end up happening with her nevuah, with her prophecy that she had, that this boy is going to end up saving the Jewish nation. Now the baby's in the Nile, so what's going to happen to him? She waited there to see what his fate will be, to see if her prophecy will be fulfilled. Chevra, we will continue tomorrow with Daf Yud Gimel. Have a wonderful day.